From the studios of Foxboro Cable Access, located in the center of Foxborough, Massachusetts, you are watching Around Foxborough.
Hi, I'm Stephen Uden, and welcome to Around Foxborough. I've had the pleasure of being invited as a guest host on these interviews for a little while, and today we have a very nice gentleman from the community, very active, Charlie Wood, who is part of PAC 176 in the Cub Scout organization. He's a teacher of eighth grade algebra, and so I'll probably have to have him check my homework and go back and do it over again, because that was my life in eighth grade algebra. And I want to welcome him. And Charlie, welcome. But you've been here in town with your dear family for what, 6 or 7 years?
Yep.
And you're very engaged with the Cubs. And if I have my notes right and my background, you have 2 fine boys that are in the Scout program. And what I would love is for you to just give a high level overview of who you are, if you like to go to church or you like to have any other hobbies or anything like that. Just give us a brief little overview of you, and then we'll drill into a lot of Cub Scouting. How's that?
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
So welcome. It's nice to have you.
Yeah, thanks. Right, as you mentioned in the intro, I have 2 boys. My son Henry is in 3rd grade, and my son Liam is in 6th grade. And so when we came to town, Liam was in kindergarten. So when he entered 1st grade, I was interested in getting him involved in Cub Scouts, and so I signed him up. And but it was a little bit funny because at that time there was only, I think, 2 or 3 boys in the den, and I kept asking the Cub master at the time, hey, this is great. Who are we going to get to be the den leader? And I asked, after like the 3rd time I asked him, he looked at me and he said, I think it's you.
You got voluntold. Right?
Yeah. So that was my introduction to like helping out with the Cub Scouts. And I think after that time, it was just sort of like, all right, well, what do I need to do to kind of help out and like, make sure everything is going the way it's supposed to. And, as time went on, it looked like they could use like a little bit more help and I had a little bit more time. Mm-hmm. And I was enjoying what I was doing. So I just kept, recommitting. And eventually the Cub Master, his son aged out. And so he was moving on to Boy Scouts. And so me and the other dad from the den, and he turned out to have all the experience. He's was an Eagle Scout with Troop 7. So grew up in Foxborough. Anyway, so he was the natural fit for the Cub Master at that time. And I became the committee chair. And just been kind of like really helping out ever since that time.
How many years, Charlie, have you been involved? Because you've sort of climbed the ranks a little bit in leadership, and I know leadership's very important to you. Could you just tell us real quickly, for those who don't know, what a den is and what a troop is, and then what a Cub Master is and a Scout, etc.? Just real quick.
Sure. So this is my 6th year helping out.
Wow.
So the dens are at the grade level. So when my son joined in 1st grade, that's the Tiger Den. And then you have Wolf Den is 2nd grade, Bear Den is 3rd grade, Below is 4th grade, and then Arrow of Light is 5th grade. Now, all together in Cub Scouts, all those 5 dens, they make up the pack. So that's Cub Scouts.
Okay, very good.
Yep. So you have one gentleman who's the Cub Master, and then they're kind of like the face of the pack, and they're there leading all the pack meetings. Then there's a lot of other people that help out, whether they're a den leader, assistant den leader, committee chair, or it might be the treasurer. It takes a lot of hands.
And so all these nice people are volunteers, correct?
Yeah. So right, nobody's being paid to do it. And some of the dads or the moms or aunts and uncles, whoever who help out, some of them have had like scouting experience in the background, but some of them have not. And so everybody's got to kind of come up to speed, figure out how we do things in our pack, and then just kind of help out as best they can.
Yeah, and you touched on something really interesting to me, is is that if there's any young children out there that are interested in scouting at the either Cub Scout level or Boy Scout level, there's an open door for young girls to join this if they want, as well as if a child wants to join scouting, having somebody go with them as an adult, it can have whoever they want, or come to the Scouts and be embraced by the Scouts and learn some of the skills. Am I getting there?
Yeah. So the scouting program made a change a couple of years ago to allow girls into Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. Now, the way I see it, we're not really like advertising for that, but what we want to do is if there's a girl that's interested in the Cub Scout program and they really feel strongly they want to do it, we want to be able to sign them up. But we're not really actively recruiting for that, but it's great that it's a possibility. And then as far as like when the Cubs are in first grade, they're required to have a parent or guardian coming with them, staying at the meeting. But after that, it's not required that the parent or guardian stay. So for instance, in second grade, you could bring them to the meeting. You could go if you have to do some shopping or whatever, or run an errand, then you can come back and pick them up. Now, having said that, most of our parents or guardians do stick around, and they might be like lending a hand, or they might just, hang out with the other parents or guardians. We do have kind of like a friendly, warm environment where people kind of like want to be a part of it. That's great, because we can always use a hand or two.
And a child, when they attend, are always safe in terms of being able to get back from the meeting after it's over and things like that, right? No child's ever left waiting for a ride or anything like that. There's a good care for the child, right?
Yeah, well, right. So there's a policy of like, they call it, always two leaders. And so like you would never have, you would never just have like a child left somewhere. There's always need to have at least two adults there. And and we would never leave, if there were still kids waiting for a ride or something.
That's terrific. I would like to go selfishly to what I think is the hallmark of Scouts, the Pinewood Derby. For those people who don't know, I'll let you explain quickly, and then would love for you to tell us a little bit about how the Pinewood Derby unfolds. And I understand you actually have a pretty cool actual racing track. So can you give us 2 or 3 minutes of that?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. So let's see. That's always fun. We just handed out our the Pinewood Derby cars. When you get it, it's just a block of like pine wood.
Right. So you're not driving in them. They're a small racing car that's a toy, so to speak. Right.
Yep. And so the boys have to like look at that, and then they kind of decide like how do they want it to look as like a car. And so sometimes you get like these sleek racing car designs that they make, and they're trying to be aerodynamic and like lubricate the axles and get the wheels going and everything.
NASCAR.
So they're going for speed, and then they could be only 5 ounces at the most. So you like get the weight just right.
Yeah.
But for other boys or youth, their goal is to make something that's artistic and interesting, and like look at it as like a design contest. And so,
excellent.
Yeah, it's always the most fun is like seeing all the different cars that show up. And of course, racing is fun as well. But everybody can like get out of it what they want, what's interesting to them.
Right. And in your pack, there's also people that help with constructing of the cars, because not everybody has a workshop at home to make something. So you have people that help the cars get constructed. Is that right?
Yeah. So when we first started, it was like, all right, let's all get the hacksaws out, and we're gonna or the coping saws. We're gonna like do this out by hand, and you can do that, but it's like very hard. We had like an adult cut themselves, and it's like, all right, this has got to be a better way. But we're fortunate. The other pack in town that we wound up merging with the other pack. They do they set up a night or a couple nights. And there's all the tools are available, so you can cut out you can make your design, you can cut it out and
paint
really
it,
customize it,
and paint it, that sort of thing, or whatever.
Yep.
That's really cool. the difference between an aluminum track and a wooden track, if I understand it, the track is, is a standardized track with an angle at it, and you stand around and you all watch and you race each other's cars. And it's not about beating the other guy so much as it is enjoying what you've produced and seeing how your derby car performs, right? Yeah, it's not a blood sport, right? Well, unless you're the fathers, then it's a different story in the background.
One nice thing is that we run the cars in a lot of different heats. Yeah. And so you could be, first place in your den. You don't have to be first place in the pack, to like feel good about the way your car ran. There's multiple different heats, like I said. So, you might come in first one race, but you might come in second or third or fourth the next race. Right. But everybody has a chance to do well in at least one race. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to win it all to go home feeling good. So.
Yeah, it's a really good fun time. I did Pinewood Derby about 6,000 years ago. We had to chop our own trees down, but you also have little adventures, don't you, that are well organized and safe and guided? Didn't you all go to New Hampshire or something like that recently?
Yep. So in the fall, we do a camp in where we find a nice spot. Might be the Museum of Science or Battleship Cove, one of those. Where you can, New England Air Museum, where you can go and like sleep under the jets or whatever, and they provide some food.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And you get kind of a behind the scenes tour or access, which is, really nice. And then in the spring, we're looking to do like an outdoor camping adventure. But you mentioned that the summer, so kind of new for us this summer is like setting up some sort of like high adventure. And so we had a dad that had a parcel of land in New Hampshire when he knew there was like a hill and there was a clearing at the top and there would be like running water nearby. So we wouldn't run out of that. And it took us a long time to like hike. There wasn't like a path, right? We had to kind of like forge our own path through the woods. Sure. But I mean, we had a kindergartner with us and he made it, so it was the hardest, right, adventure that I've been on, but it was also probably the most fun. So it was cool to like, after doing it for the 6 years, you start to get more comfortable with how things work and what you need to do to make a safe, fun adventure. So you could do some of these things, the really cool things.
I love that. And the fees to do these things, just in case people don't know, it's not a terribly expensive program to be in, right? And are there ways people can help if they say can't afford to do scouting?
Yeah. So our big fundraiser is the pancake breakfast. Now we've had a little bit of trouble doing that the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's a sellout every year, man. That's great.
Yeah, and usually we have enough money from the proceeds to fund a lot of our adventures and trips and activities. And then also, we always say, hey, if anybody's has trouble with the dues or the fees, or to go on a trip, we're happy to help them out. So that, there's always, because we don't want anyone to miss out for not having, the funds.
Right. We want them in, and we want them in. Something that's important to you, I know, is to teach fundamentals of leadership. You're personally, you're, I think you said you're in Toastmasters. I'm very familiar with that. And that taught you how to blend leadership skills with your teaching skills into the Cub experience, right? To the Scout experience.
Yeah. I mean, when you get down to it, it's all about working with people successfully, motivating, inspiring, and getting a group to, be able to do things well all together.
Amen. All together, right? Feel as a team. Yep.
Yeah. And walk away with a pleasant experience. So just many different ways of working on that. But the cool thing is that when you develop those skills, then you can go and deploy them right in the community and help people have a great experience
and interact with other people in public or at school or at church or whatever they may do outside of scouting, right?
Yeah, I mean, the coolest thing is I have my own boys. When my son like offers to hold the door open when I'm bringing groceries in, or bring the groceries in himself, or whatever, those things, like, I didn't ask him to do it, but at some point along the line, he figured out like, hey, I have to contribute and there's things I can do.
Yeah. They learn good fundamental values. We're getting really to the end here. And I just wanted you, if you could, to give some credit to what sounds like an enormous amount of people that help the den, the parents, caregivers, other people in the community. How does that bolster the program to be robust? Because it is a robust program all the way across the board, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's not really a single thing that I can do on my own for the boys and girls like who are part of our program. Every single thing I do depends on somebody else. Bringing people to the meetings, helping out with supplies.
Yeah.
They're lending their time, talent, and treasure. And everybody does contribute. It might be that Pinewood Derby is a specialty. It might be selling pancake breakfast tickets as a specialty. It might be, just like, bringing food to a potluck.
Yeah. And then the scouts, the older kids sell Christmas trees and wreaths and those sorts of things and different seasonal items and the world famous popcorn and stuff you find out in front of stores at a table. Yeah. I need to wrap it up, but I just want to thank you because, around Foxborough is the essence of this thing and of this interview. And this show is about recognizing and interviewing people who really do very wonderful things, seen and unseen in our community, especially selfishly for our kids as they develop. And I think you and I have talked that, your involvement in your church is very important to you with that. And if you'd just like to sort of close with a come join us or come talk to us, who should we ask to the viewers to contact should they want to know more about scouting? And then you can say a thank you to all the people that help you make this really wonderful program continue. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm kind of the right person to ask if you're looking to join the Cub Scout program.
How do we get in contact with you, or how on that matter, right? I don't want people calling you home personally, right?
Yeah, we have a website. The website is still up. It might still say PAC 70. Honestly, it needs to be updated. But people also can. I'm on Facebook. You can look up me there and reach out by messenger or something.
Under what name do you want them to look you up?
Charlie Woods. Yeah, and I'm in Foxborough.
Okay.
Yep, and I have my email. I don't know if I can give that out here.
Well, if we'll put it up on the screen after we do some fancy editing here at Foxboro Cable. It's just nice that people can get in contact with you and really work with some really good, kind adults that really care about our community. If you want to say hi to your sons on this so they can see their dad, who's a world famous TV star again.
Hi, Henry. Hi, Liam. Yeah, thanks for checking this out.
Yep. Well, I want to thank you. Thank you for being a teacher. Thank you for being a really good man in our community. And thank you for helping our children and all the things your family does on the side. Again, those things that are unseen. Also, as of a little interest, the director here at Foxboro Cable Access is a very good man. And he's also very involved at the adult level with the older kids in a troop down in Rhode Island. So we want to give a nice little hi hello to our friends down there in Rhode Island because that's a worldwide program that this is excellent for our kids. Charlie, thank you so much for everything you do. Really, it's so important to a lot of people, and I wish you a Merry Christmas and blessings for all those things in the upcoming future. Say one more time, hi to you boys.
Okay. Hi, boys. All right. Thanks for checking this out.
Charlie, thank you so much. Bless you. Take care. We're going to say goodbye to our friends in TV land. And I'm Stephen Uden, substituting for other people like Jury and Mark Rivard here at around Foxborough. And I want to thank, as probably Charlie does, all the volunteers and people here at Foxboro Cable Access. They make so much available to us, and we're very grateful. So Merry Christmas to all and glad tidings. And this is Stephen Uden signing out for this episode with Charlie Wood. Thanks again, Charlie.
Yep, my pleasure.
Bye.